This module introduced you to the anonymous type. This is a great way of representing a subset of properties for a more complex type. It's very often used together with LINQ. An anonymous type is constructed with the new keyword, followed by an object initializer. When you use the new keyword and the object initializer without the type, the compiler will know that this is an anonymous type. When you create an anonymous type, the compiler generates a class with the appropriate properties and methods for you. There is no way of explicitly using the generated class, and therefore, it's not appropriate to use the anonymous types when you need to return data or pass it as parameters. Its purpose is to make it easy to represent a subset of data, used only in the current method. You can pass it around, but doing so will require reflection to find the properties and their values in runtime. This will impact performance. Using LINQ together with this language feature lets you, for example, select a new representation of a complex type that allows you to create a new list of elements with copied values. Remember that when it comes to copies of reference types, such as arrays or lists or an instance of a class, it will only copy the reference, not the value inside the reference type. We saw an example of using LINQ and the anonymous type with the data grid in WPF. This resulted in an easy way to automatically create a representation of the data without having to introduce a custom class. Because anonymous types are read-only, you have to use a non-destructive mutation, which is achieved by using the with expression. The with keyword, followed by a statement, lets you copy the instance of the anonymous type with one or more properties changed. As we've discussed through this module, and you've seen this firsthand, the anonymous types can be really powerful and reduce the amount of unnecessary classes. Whenever we can get the compiler to generate code to make our lives simpler, I see that as a win. There is another way to represent a group of values that will also be usable as a return type as well as a parameter to a method. In the next module, we are going to look at a different way of representing a subset of properties. Much like an anonymous type, but with this approach, it can be returned or accepted as a parameter. We'll be looking at a language feature called tuples or tuples, depending on how you prefer to pronounce them. As you'll soon experience, they're a whole lot more powerful than the anonymous type.